Hi everybody, Crypto Carlos Fandango here. Not so much of the crypto these days, hence some different videos coming for you. This first one is a bit of an overview of what I've been busy doing, because I haven't been doing nothing. Still giving the updates on the Store.j node developments. You probably saw the last video showing you what had happened over the last year. But I've been busy doing some hardware changes in configuration to support that and to support some other things as well. So whereas I had this in my downstairs cupboard handling all my internet connectivity needs, the BT home router, it's changed somewhat, and I'm going to show you what it looks like now, because it's a lot different. Okay, this isn't going to be very easy because I'm in a very tight space here trying to show you what's going on now. So what you can see here is the replacement for that BT Home Hub, and the eagle-eyed of you will notice that there's some Ubiquiti Unify gear there. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what I've done here, and then we'll go upstairs and we'll start talking about why I've done it. Okay, so I've got BT OpenReach fibre coming in the wall here as normal, and then if we look at the rack here, what we've got going, starting from the bottom, is I've put a nice power strip in to handle all the power requirements. And then a bit further up, we've got a tray with a small PC with some sort of radio antenna on it. And I'm not going to go into what that is yet, because we're going to talk about that in another video. But the main parts here are the Unify Dream Machine Pro. So that's the router now, gateway. You know, I'm not going to go into all the software options you get in that. It does absolutely everything, and it's the most decent piece of kit I have ever worked with, and the software is a joy to use with it. That has got an 8 terabyte SATA drive behind that tray there, and eventually that will be working as an NVR to store feeds from security cameras. So there's a few ports on that are going in various places. The one white cable that's coming down here, as you can see, there is my Tado heating bridge, and that powers in over there. So that's as I had it previously. That's my thermostat in the sitting room. That's the bridge for that. Then we've got a few other cables coming out. First of all is the one that is linking into this Unify switch up here, which is a PoE switch. So the plan with that is that we're going to just directly cable PoE over Ethernet to the security cameras that are put in the front and back of the property, and they'll just come straight down into here. And then the other thing that's going on is there's a getting old. There's a cable going up here to this device here, which is a Unify Wi-Fi access point, also PoE, so there's no power going to that at all. As you can see, it's just got an Ethernet in the back. This is quite an old unit, but I picked it up for quite a good price. Still works fine. It's a 2.4 and 5, dual band, not Wi-Fi 6 or 7 or anything fancy like that, but perfectly adequate for my needs. I've got a little patch panel installed here, ready for when I get some builders in to bring cables down from the loft space and from the rooms upstairs down into here and into this patch panel. And the reason I want to do that is I want dedicated ports in the offices that I've got upstairs, and also coming down from the security cameras outside into here, because I want to get rid of this. And this is the TP-Link Ethernet over power adapter. So at the moment, still, everything is coming from here, down that one channel, through the electric sockets, upstairs to my main office, which I use for home and work purposes, and also to the room with the data cabinet in that has the Store.j node running in it, and various other bits and pieces. So that is the plan for this. The whole purpose of this main part here is to get rid of that power line adapter and get proper Ethernet cables routed down here. Now I may have to change this patch panel. I'm not sure if this supports PoE or not. We'll have to test it, and I'll have to get one that does if it doesn't. And then just in the front here, you can just see this is just a cable tidying mechanism. It means you can just run the patch cables down nicely, and you don't have to view them, and you can just hide them behind. And then I've mirrored that upstairs in the data cabinet as well, just to tidy it up. So that's the hardware downstairs. Let's go upstairs and we'll have a little chat about the other reasons I've done this, and look at what the plans are to complete the operation.
Okay, we're upstairs now. Let's have a little bit of a recap. So I had a very basic service provider router in place, and I've put in all that kit you've just seen for several reasons. The first reason, to allow me to get the cabling done from this office downstairs into that cupboard, to remove the power line adapters, get better throughput, especially for the store J. Need to make sure that we're getting good speeds to that unit. Power line adapter is not the best way to go. So that's the first part. Going to get a quote in, drop some Ethernet ports into this office, into the data cabinet office, down into that downstairs cupboard, plug straight into that Dream Machine Pro. And then also front and back security cameras, as I said, because the unit is an NVR as well. So that's the first part of the story. Second part was I wanted to do some tinkering, and that home router setup was not allowing me to do it. The main things I wanted to do was explore VLANs for security purposes mainly than anything else, and you'll know why in a second. So there was no capability in the software on that home router to segregate LANs networks. You couldn't even do basic things like turn the Wi-Fi off in the night when you weren't using it. Things that I wanted to do. I don't want my sleep disturbed by magnetic fields bombarding me in the evening. There's no point. There's no need for it. So I wanted to turn that off. So that unit had to go, and it had to be replaced. And I've watched a lot of videos about the Ubiquiti hardware, and it is amazing stuff. I can't recommend, I'm not being paid to say this. It is out of the box, so simple and easy to use. Yes, there is a lot to learn about all the different types of configuration. If you're not from a network engineering background, you're going to have to watch a lot of YouTube videos about how to deal with this machine. But honestly, they've made it so easy. So that's the other thing, security. I have got more than the average person's hardware on my home network. And I wanted to make sure that I was protecting the Store J node as best as I could, protecting my home network from my work laptop, keeping my home concerns separate, and then any IoT devices, of which they're growing. And then also for the security cameras and test benches, I wanted all those networks separate. I wanted client isolation on the IoT. I wanted to be able to lock it all down and only open ports that I needed, whether it be permanently or temporarily. So that's what this has allowed me to do. And then moving on from that, and a little sneak peek into a future video that's coming, I've started dabbling with Home Assistant, and that's what that small Elite Desk PC that you saw with the radio antenna was downstairs in the downstairs cupboard. That is a very bog standard, I think it's 8 gig of RAM, small Elite Desk PC I had going spare. I paid, I don't know, 30, 40 pounds for it on eBay when I bought it. I didn't want to go and have to spend another £100 for one of the Home Assistant green options that come pre-installed with the software. I wanted to reutilize that hardware, and it was super for the job. The radio antenna is a Zigbee coordinator, which allows me to add Zigbee devices to my network, whether it be sensors or lights or you name it. There are loads of things, and I'll talk about those in future videos, but that's what that unit is doing. And of course, as I'm expanding those IoT devices onto my network, I don't want them having access to anything else that they shouldn't have. So there's a separate IoT network for those that's configured. And obviously I open ports to allow me to manage them. So that's the reason for it. Apart from the hardware downstairs, I did have to replace 2 pieces of hardware upstairs. Here in my work and home office, I have a Netgear switch just underneath here to plug those devices into the single power line adapter port that I have. That was no good for VLAN configuration, in line with the Dream Machine Pro downstairs. So I purchased further Netgear switches, managed switches, very cheap, that do allow me to go in and assign VLAN IDs to the ports. And that's allowed me to segregate my home and work concerns up here in my main office, and make sure they're going to different networks and getting assigned the subnets for those networks. So that's working very well. I'm just going to show you on the other screen. Here is an example of what I had to buy. So whereas downstairs kit was quite costly, we're talking a few £100 for those Dream Machine products, and the frame was 50 quid, power supply was about 20, things like that. These Netgear 5 port managed gigabit switches were only a tenner each, and I needed 2 of those because I needed one for the data cabinet as well, so that I can make sure all the store J communications are going over the correct VLAN ID. So very, very cheap, those. So that's what downstairs has allowed me to do. And yes, you're going to see some future videos of how I've started growing my Home Assistant environment here at my house. Putting in automations, putting in devices, voice control, not Alexa, not Google, Home Assistant voice control, and playing around with conversation agents and all those sort of things. Loads of exciting stuff to talk about. So we'll get into that in another video. But what I'm going to do now is show you the setup in the Unify software, because it is, as I say, lovely. There are some screens I can't show on here because they do expose your public IP address. So I can't show you everything. But if we start at the top here, it gives you a wonderful topology diagram straight out of the box here that builds up as you add devices. And we can scroll in here and we can see what I've got going on right at the top. We've got my BT fiber coming in into that Dream Machine Pro, and then that's being piped out into that 16-port PoE switch, which we know is going to the access point to which there are many devices connected, all on the Wi-Fi. And all the IoT stuff is pretty much running on 2.4 gigahertz. That's out of the box. That's what they do. But we've got loads of things running on it. My Home Assistant voice controllers, my Roku Express for the television, bedside lighting, IR stuff, loads of stuff to look at in the future. And then hardwired into the switch, we've got that Home Assistant PC that's sitting there. We've got my heating bridge, as I said. We've got this machine I'm on now, my Windows 10 machine. We've got the Store J node coming through, and we've got these 2 Netgear 5-port switches. So that's a very good diagram that they give you. But what you can really do with it is you can switch on this internet traffic flow diagram, and you'll see, I know it's very hard to see, but I'll try and expand it a bit for you. You can suddenly see the throughput of traffic and where it's going, which is brilliant. And as you can see, the Store J node is the biggest consumer over my broadband. It's taking most of the bandwidth up to get what it needs, and then all the other little things are just trickling away and having stuff. That is a lovely feature, I think, on that sort of thing there. Then we got unified devices. So we've got the Dream Machine Pro, and we've got the 16-port PoE switch, and we got that access point. And eventually in here as well, we will have the Unify cameras that I'm going to install front and back. Then you get a client devices screen that tells you everything about every single device connected to your network, of which you can see there are a lot, and all segregated, which ones are on the IoT network and which ones are running on other networks and other subnets. There's port controller for all your ports on whatever device you want. So At the moment, it's showing you the PoE switch, but we can switch to the Dream Machine Pro and you can see the port setup on that. And that's got all the VLAN configuration. Radios is just showing you how your Wi-Fi network is going. And Insights is the built-in security model that tells you all the traffic and where it's coming from. And as you can see, a lot of it is Storj cloud infrastructure traffic, not much else at the moment. But it looks out for you and it makes sure that you're aware of anything coming in that is a bit suspect, and to investigate it. And it does a great job of blocking anything that shouldn't be coming in. There's various options in there in the configuration to utilize cybersecurity stuff, and basically all traffic coming in will go through some sort of search mechanism before it's allowed to go onto your network. It really is fantastic. I've never seen anything like it. And then you can drill into the Wi-Fi setup. So I've got 3 Wi-Fi setups. I've got a Wi-Fi for home, which is my connection from my personal phone. I've got Wi-Fi for guest that is used by anybody coming and visiting. And then there's the IoT Wi-Fi network, just purely for those devices, nothing else. And then networks. So these are the different networks that I've set up and the different subnets associated with them. So the default network stays as is. That is the one that the Dream Machine Pro runs on. You don't change that. Then I've added my home network, VLAN ID 2, which runs everything that's on the home network. So that's various PCs and NAS units. Surveillance is set up ready to have those cameras connected to it. IoT network has got all the Home Assistant stuff running on it. It will have video doorbells as well, all those sort of things. Guest network is that Wi-Fi network. Management network is for me to manage various bits and pieces on the network. This is my work network. I don't want them snooping my network and seeing what other stuff I've got on it. So we lock them out and they can only see what they can. The Storj cloud infrastructure network and a test bench network as well, so that I can do exploratory testing with bits and pieces and not worry about it interfering with anything else. And then there's various other things for cybersecurity and all sorts of stuff. There's so much in there. And I haven't even got the latest release installed yet, which has AI capabilities built in it to monitor all your ports on your network and tell you if you're getting any looping going on or anything that is, degrading your network performance. So I'm looking forward to installing that version. And I might do another video and tell you about that if there's anything relevant in there. But that's it for this video. So that's just an overview of what I've been busy doing. And it has taken many months to get to this point. I've watched, I don't know how many videos on Unify setup and networks and VLANs, because I knew a little bit, but not everything I needed to know in order to set this up. And it's been good for about a month now. It's been running for about a month and it's been stable and I've not had any issues. Not had it bring to my attention anything untoward at all. Everything seems to work perfectly. I would say it's more resilient than the old router, definitely. And yes, I'm able to turn the Wi-Fi off when I'm in bed asleep at night, and it turns it back on in the morning. There's a good little scheduling application against the Wi-Fi networks that you can use for that. So I hope that's been informative. I don't know if everyone will like this type of video because, it is moving away from the sort of crypto theme a bit, but there's, as I say, not a lot out there. And I wanted to make videos about something. So yes, there's this one, and there will be the Home Assistant introduction one, and maybe some shorter Home Assistant videos as well to show you things that I've found out or done and created on my Home Assistant network. So I hope that's going to be of enjoyment in the future. It would be great if you could subscribe, give this a thumbs up, because the channel is battling, as many channels are out there. You don't get the exposure. I'm not in this to make money. I'm in this for the enjoyment. I enjoy doing these things and I enjoy telling you about them. But it would be nice to reach a bigger audience, obviously. So if you can subscribe and hit the notification icon so that you hear future videos. And please do comment as well. The more comments there are, the better. Talk to me, talk to yourselves. Tell me what you think of the setup, pick holes in it. I don't mind. You know, and there will be in the Home Assistant videos in the future opportunity to feed in with some ideas and that for my home network. So I hope that's all well, and I'll see you next time.